Good Sunday evening, everybody. Hope you all are having a great weekend. It's been beautiful here all weekend. We had a little bit of rain Saturday midday, but over and above that, it's been a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Got a lot done. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Cajun. Daryl says he's not going to make it. That's fine. Hopefully everything's okay. So, hey, Ken, how you doing, bud? Thank you for stopping in. So I actually had Easter dinner with my brother today. So, hey, Cajun, how you doing, buddy? Happy Easter.
All right, happy Easter. Happy Easter, Ken, Daryl.
So you guys been having decent weather down that way, Cajun, or?
Well, some parts down here is, a little bit of rain, some no rain. Waiting on it, though. It's supposed to get a little worse. Yeah, some worse.
Yeah. We're supposed to get a little rain late tonight. Chance of some storms. Yesterday they were calling for bad storms coming through. I had maybe 10 minutes of heavy rain and some thunder, a little bit of hail, and then it cleared out and got beautiful the rest of the day. Hi, Rail. How you doing, bud?
Real.
I actually just watched Rail's video on his Vega. Remember some nice heads you picked up there, Rail. So hey, John, how you doing? Happy Easter to you too, buddy.
Yep, happy Easter, y'all.
So, but I spent I had Friday off work, so I got some stuff done Friday, and I got some stuff done yesterday. On monkey business, we're moving right along. I actually started making the seat and seat brackets for it. So that's what the video for next Saturday is going to be, is building the seat and that, and then possibly starting on the exhaust too, if I get the seat done quick enough. But I need to get some cutoff wheels for aluminum. I cut a little bit with a regular cutoff wheel, and they load up so bad. I'm afraid they're gonna come apart. So
those carburetor blades.
Well, they're the little thin cutoff wheels, the wafer wheels, death wheels.
Yeah, I think those are carburetor. I know they make the carburetor, the brown ones for iron, steel.
Yeah.
And then I don't know which ones you got, but.
Well, I got the general mild steel and stuff for cutting steel and that.
Okay.
But I need to cut some aluminum, and like I said, I have used those before. They load up real bad, and get like a bead of aluminum on them. So it just makes me nervous using those.
You can use a regular skill saw.
Yeah, I got one of those, but it's packed up away, and it'd be more effort getting it out than it would just to stop by the store on the way home and pick up some regular aluminum cutoff wheels. Hey, Renegade, happy Easter. Thanks for stopping in. Tommy, happy Easter. Thank you for stopping in.
Renegade, happy Easter to y'all. Bonjour de Pâques in French.
But
Diablo's got a new blade out that cuts steel. It'll cut 1/2 inch, 5/8, I-beams with a regular skill saw. Oh, man, that's some wicked stuff there, Diablo.
Yeah, I actually have a Diablo blade on my cutoff wheel or cutoff saw at work, and I love the thing. I bought it about 5 or 6 years ago. And
they had them that long ago?
Oh yeah.
Cutting steel or
yeah,
7-inch blade. Wow, I didn't know that.
This is a 14.
Yeah, I got you.
Big chop saw. Hey, Gleason News, how you doing, bud? Thank you for stopping.
Hey, Gleason, what's up, Mona? Man, how's the weather up there in Tennessee? About straight below you, Ed, in Tennessee.
All right, cool.
He's not far from John Clem.
All right, but yeah, I thought about getting the smaller one for like a circular saw and that, but I've got that plasma cutter and stuff now. But and I've never tried cutting aluminum with a plasma cutter. Everybody says you can do it. So, hey, Thomas Andrew, how you doing, bud? So, I may actually try that, but I need to weld some aluminum up, and I got a aluminum spool gun at work. I can use it, but I also seen a couple guys use that low temp aluminum, like a brazing rod, and they say it works really well. So I might pick some of that up. They got that at Harbor Freight. I might pick some of that up and see how it works. You know, I don't know if anybody on here has tried that stuff yet or not, but you know, I may give it a shot. Because on the seat, what I need to do is I need to bend the back of the seat up, and the way I've done it before is I take a grinder and put a notch in it and bend it, because I don't have a press brake. But then I'd always just take my spool gun at work and stitch weld it back together. So, like I said, but if I could do that low temp melt aluminum, like I guess brazing rod, I might give that a try rather than have to haul everything with me to work and do it that way. So, but you know, we'll figure it out. So, but other than that, I've been doing some other stuff out in the garage too on that. I don't know if I ever showed you guys the golf cart I picked up last fall. It doesn't run very well. It's a carburetor issue, but I ordered a new carburetor for it off of Amazon. I'm gonna try that and hopefully get that running. I can use it to clean up, because it's got a power dump bed and everything. Hopefully use that to get my yard and stuff cleaned up this summer. Okay, you've got some, but you've never tried them. Yeah, I can't remember who it was. Somebody I follow and friends with. They tried it and used it, and I think they had a good result from it. So back to the drawing board with a Tecumseh engine. Yeah, that's usually how it ends up, Andrew. But the golf cart I got is the one I want to put the V-twin Honda motor in, the 20 horse. But that'll be down the road. Right now, I just want to get the thing running and driving so I can use it around the yard. But when you try it, it'll come out jacked up. Yeah, that's usually the way it happens with me too. So, like I said, I'm gonna give her a try though. So, like I said, rather than load everything up and take it up to my daily shop and try to use the spool gun on it and have to haul it back, and if it's not right or whatever or something moves. So, hey Wayne, how you doing, brother? Thank you for stopping in.
Hey Wayne.
So,
hey Thomas.
But yeah, I'll probably pick that up tomorrow night on my way home from work. So, because I'm at the point that I need to bend that back up, because you have to have a 3-inch backer on your seat back, minimum of 3-inch. So, like I said, if I had a press brake, I could just press brake it without having to put the notch in it. But I don't have a press brake, and the sheet metal brake I have access to, I've tried to bend this 3/16 aluminum before with it. It don't like it. Even though it's a big like 12-foot long brake, it just don't like to bend the thicker stuff. So we'll just put a notch in it and bend her up and weld her back together. No big deal.
We used to have the 10 and 12 footers on the job site, but I was for light stuff like vinyl siding guys. That's what we was doing at one time, vinyl siding, and a buddy of mine had a brake.
Yeah.
And he wasn't working. I didn't have a brake, so he came on board and we used his brake. Good for sheet metal, like making duct work. Good for them.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's our HVAC shop. It's old. It's an old big cast iron. It ain't one of the portable ones for doing gutters and siding.
Right.
When we moved it into the shop, we used the tow motor, and it has sit in the same spot for the last 15 years.
It's dedicated.
Yeah. I mean, it does a fabulous job with sheet metal and stuff like that, and everything else, but it just doesn't like the heavier through 3/16. So I would build a press brake, but I don't have time right now, and I don't have a press. I got a press at work, but I don't have one here. I want to build a press brake or a press and make the press brake adapter for it too. So Uncle Mark, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Uncle Mark, what's up, Kuzan? How you doing? Happy Easter.
But so yeah, that's kind of basically what's been going on around here. Still need to clean the shop because it's an absolute disaster, but I need to get this tractor done. I'm running real short of time. I probably won't make the test and tune with either one because they're 2 weeks from now, I think. But I'll actually make the first official pull with it. So, but yeah, well, if you guys watch the video, I got the kill switches and everything all wired up and wired in, and that frickin' on-off switch, it was just a cheap one anyways, but I can't believe that thing just broke. So happy Easter, Danson. How you doing?
Hey, Danson. Happy Easter. Where'd you get the switch?
Actually, I don't know. It was in my wiring bag.
Okay.
I don't have no clue where it come from. It could have come with some cheap lighting kit or something like that.
I had a cheap one that came with, like you say, a kit. Came with something else, and that came from China. Well, I did my 45 amp power supply. I converted it to an 80 amp power supply. And this is just for the 110 going to the supply. No load on it, no nothing. I think 3 amps or something. And it was rated for 120, 220, and I think 10 and 20 amps. And I had it built, boy, I mean, it was working I had it on the shelf, dedicated on the spot. And I'm like, all right, good. Man, all of a sudden the switch wouldn't, after about 8 times, it wouldn't click anymore. It was like nothing. And I'm like, oh, man, where did I get that switch? Let me think. Yeah, right. Okay, no more China switches for me.
Yeah. Well, this one here, I had wired it in, and I left enough slack that I could cut it and wire the breakaway switch into it. And I reached up in there with my wire strippers, and I had a hold of the wire, and I went to pull the end of strip the wire. And I don't know if it pulled through my fingers or what, but all of a sudden the back half of the switch is like in my hand. And I'm like, what the heck? So then I started looking at it, and of course the piece, all the innards fell down on the table below. And I picked them all up off camera and tried to put the switch back together, and nope, I'll just buy another one. I'll just get one through Napa, and like I said, it was just something I had on hand. It probably would have quit working anyways, but
if I'd have been you, I'd have tried to throw it in the creek, try to see if I can get it that far.
But it made it as far as the trash can. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Thomas. So yeah, that replace that switch, and then the wiring is completely 100% done. I did dump some fuel in the fuel tank to make sure there was no leaks. I'll probably fire it up on this video here while we're working on the seat, because there's been fuel in it now for about a week. No drips, no leaks, no nothing. So we're good to go. Hopefully the fuel pump's still in good shape, and hopefully she fires right up. So yeah, I agree with Dancing. Rails Vegas coming along nicely.
Yeah, I seen the thumbnail for it, and I clicked on the tab, and had it to the side, and I don't know what happened to it. I restarted my computer, and a few tabs disappeared. I guess I wasn't using them or something.
Yeah, well, I set my live stream up this afternoon, and I opened up my editing software, and it needed updating. And I said, yeah, go ahead and update it. And I hadn't completed setting up the live stream. I was still, still working on it. And once my editing software updated, my computer had to restart, and it automatically restarted. So I had to go back and set the whole live stream and everything up again.
Is that the one with I see that you got one that's a video that uploaded? It uploaded in your video section. And Miss said, hey, Ed's coming on. And then she said, wow, that was a short one. It was like 4 seconds,
Yeah.
And I was all like, okay.
Well, I needed that to make my thumbnail for my live stream.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, well, I'll just leave it up. What the heck? So, just a little something I did real quick with my editing software.
Oh, okay.
So back to the drawing board, but it starts with electric start. That sounds like to me, Andrew, that the mag's getting weak, the coil's getting weak. You're just not spinning it fast enough with the hand starter. The electric starter spins a little faster, so that's where I would look at. Even if it's getting spark when you're pulling it by hand, it may not be a strong enough spark to get the fuel and stuff up into the cylinder to fire. Yeah, Rail, I get you, man. There was times over the winter that I had no ambition to go out and work in the garage at all. I just, I had to, I'd force myself out there to get it done. If you don't pass the evil kidney stone before then, well, as bad as it hurts to pass kidney stones, from what everybody tells me, I guess I hope you pass it. That way you don't have to have the surgery, but I don't wish that kind of pain on anybody. So it's a less of two evils. We listen to Spielberg. Yeah, the best Ed videos are 4 seconds long. Yep. That way y'all don't have to listen to me ramble. Hey, Willie, what's happening?
Hey, Willie, happy Easter.
Yep.
Yeah, real cool. That's that's not good.
Are they actually going to go in and do the surgery to remove the stone? Or are they going to do like the ultrasonic thing where they shoot it and blast it?
I think I'd rather have the surgery than pass it. I think.
Oh, yeah.
You don't hurt as much. Roadrunner, beep beep.
Hey,
Happy,
Roadrunner, what's happening?
happy Easter, Roadrunner.
3 stones. My bladder. Ooh, I'm sorry about that, Rail. Like I said, knock on wood. I've never had one
Ooh.
that I know of, but I do know people that have them and have passed them. And I seen one of my buddies I mean, he was a mean dude, literally on his knees alongside the highway, trying to piss one out, tears rolling down his face. You know,
I had one I passed. At least I think I passed it. I was hurting real bad on my kidney, and my cousin was a doctor, and I talked to him, and he said, "Yeah, you probably got one." I didn't go to his office. I was just at the house, and he said, "If it gets any worse, come on in for X-ray." I'm like, "All right." Well, it got a little worse, and then that next day, I felt something, and a little further south of my kidney, and I didn't feel nothing no more. So,
yeah. Maybe.
I got lucky. I got real lucky on
Hey,
the pain part.
Yeah. Hey, Woody, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for stopping in.
Hey, Woody.
Yeah, this guy here was literally on his way to the hospital because he knew he had it and he knew it was moving, and it went from his kidney to his bladder. And like I said, he was alongside the road trying to piss, and on his knees, bawling his eyes out because it hurt so bad. And they actually had to help him back into the truck and take him onto the hospital. And they went in and went in his Willie and did some kind of ultrasound or something, and basically broke it into like little sandy pieces.
Oh yeah, they blasted it,
and he had to pee through a strainer like a filter for like the next week because they wanted to make sure that it was all coming out. It wasn't sitting in there and to grow another one or something.
Mm.
And Rail said he has a long history of them. I'm sorry about that, man. Like I said, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. From what I've seen other people go through. So, but yeah, I'm actually getting excited about pulling season again this year. So, basically, because there's a couple people I want to prove wrong. A couple people have messaged me randomly on Facebook Messenger, about what transmission and stuff I'm running, what gears I'm running, and stuff in monkey business. And both of them have told me that for the gearing that's in that transmission, which it's a 21 and a 23 tooth, 21 second, 23 third, with a 26% overdrive, they told me that engine will never spin those tires. It'll drive, but it won't spin them like it should. Well, yeah, they said it's going to run out of power. Well, I know what that tractor used to do before, and I knew what gearing it had with the belt drive. So, yeah, I think I'm going to be fine. And I can't wait to get it on the track and hopefully, if everything goes right, prove them wrong. So, your junk hurts. I would think so, Rail.
The bad thing is you get one that goes going with the flow and it's bigger than the urethra tube in your junk, and then it stops the flow and it don't want to let it go, and man, you gotta go, and you start swelling up, your teeth start floating, and you gotta go to the emergency room and get a catheter. I got threatened to have a catheter the first time I went to the hospital for my intestine.
Yeah,
Nurse said, ER nurse said, I need a urine sample. I said, man, I just peed before I left the house. And I said, I hadn't anything to drink, really, but some coffee. And she was like, well, I tell you what, I'll give you 30 minutes. If you can't give me a urine sample, I'm going in and get it. I'm like with a tube? She said, yeah, and it don't feel good at all, neither.
Oh.
She literally scared the piss out of me.
Yeah.
Literally, within 20 minutes, I was peeing in that cup.
Well, that's what my buddy was. That's what he was on his way to the hospital for. He hadn't peed in 2 days, and he was starting to really hurt. And I think they were like 10 minutes from the hospital, and he forced him to pull over because he said, it feels like I'm going to piss myself. And he never actually went, but they got him back in the truck and got him to the hospital. And that's when they took him in, like, emergency wise, and started the procedures right then and there. So, but like I said, I've seen many people have them, and I, knock on wood, I will never get one, and I have all the utmost sympathy for anybody who does have them. So
restricted but still flowing.
Yeah,
that's some relief there.
Yeah. So, but okay, let's quit talking about this stuff here. That's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah. So, but yeah, I need to go get fuel for Plan B. I need a can of methanol, and I need to swing by the gas station up the road from my work and pick up some 93 rec gas that doesn't have the methanol or ethanol in it and stuff. That's what I think that's what I'm gonna run monkey business on this year, is the rec gas without the ethanol in it.
No ethanol, yeah. We got more non-ethanol stations here in this town than some people got in their whole state.
I've got one right up the road from where I work at. It's about 6 blocks up from where I work. And honestly, that's the only one I know of in the area.
You can look up non-etho gas or something. Just type it in Google, non-ethanol gas stations, and it'll give you every place that sells non-ethanol, even if it's in a can, a little gallon can.
Uh-huh.
And it'll tell you if it's a pump station, regular gas pump, or sold in the store.
Yeah.
But they got a lot of boats around here where I'm at. So, and you know that yourself. You've seen.
Yep. Yeah.
You've seen 1 million boats when you, Mark, and Sandy were down here. At least 1 million boats.
Oh yeah.
So, and all boats run on non-ethanol. All boats. But nobody puts ethanol gas in their boats. They're not made for outboards. They're not made for small engines. Period.
Yeah. What? Hey, Adam, how you doing, buddy? Adam, I like the lift cart you're building.
Hey, Adam. Happy Easter.
That hydraulic lift cart you're building. I like that thing. I think it's gonna be nice. But yeah, I think if memory serves me, I have a can of race gas over there. Brand new, never opened. It's a couple years old, but it should be fine. It's in a sealed container, so. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Thomas. But I thought about running it on there, but it's kind of a waste because it's not a high compression engine. It's just a stock compression engine, so it'd be kind of a waste to put. I could use that fuel up because it's not getting any better. It's just sitting there, but. And talking about race fuels and stuff, any of you old timers that have the big 5-gallon buckets of the carburetor cleaner dip stuff, keep an eye on it. keep an eye on it, because I had one in my back room at work, and I know it's probably 10 or 12 years old. I went in one morning and I could smell something. I'm like, what the heck is that? And looked over, and the floor and stuff is all wet around it. So
They threw the can.
it actually peeled the red coating off the inside of the bucket and was eating through the welds that welded the bucket together.
Damn.
I don't know. I don't know if the welds had already had little pinholes or what, and that coating was keeping it sealed. But it had actually dissolved the coating off the inside of the bucket. And from what I could gather when I hurried up and looked it up, you can't put that stuff, at least that stuff that I had, you can't put that stuff in a plastic bucket because it'll melt it. So I hurried up and found a metal bucket and kind of set that bucket down in it. And I ended up just dumping it in my parts washer. I figured with the others, because my parts washer was low anyways, and it's got diesel fuel and all kinds of other crap in it, and dissolved oil and all that. So I figured
clean it out, clean stuff out.
Yeah, well, I figured it would dilute it enough that it shouldn't hurt anything. So
Johnny's got a 5-gallon bucket at the shop, and I've got a gallon over here. And I've been having that gallon and it's not that bad. I use it until we got that ultrasonic cleaner.
Yeah.
I've been having it probably 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to use it on stuff until I got the ultrasonic cleaner a couple of years ago at work. And like I said, I know it's at least 10 or 15 years old. But I would have never thought that would have eaten through the coating that's on the inside of the bucket. So, but it's in my parts washer now, and I've ran the parts washer a few times, and it doesn't seem like it hurt it or anything. So hopefully it diluted it enough with what was in the parts washer, that because I know the stuff that was in the bucket would actually melt rubber. Any rubber parts or anything that's on a carburetor or rubber hose or anything like that, it turned it to goo. So yeah, yep. Well, I bought this bucket because I had a couple old school car carburetors that had fuel heads set in them for a long time. And I tried the brake parts cleaner and the spray carburetor cleaner and picks and stuff like that, and it just wasn't cutting it. So I bought this stuff and soaked the carburetor in it for 2 or 3 days, and it cleaned it right out. This is good stuff. It was Napa brand, but yeah, in my office still smells like it. I've tried scrubbing it and using other stuff, chemicals to clean it up and that, and I go in first thing in the morning, you can still smell it. Yeah, this was like I said, this was been sitting in my office now for 10, 15 years. I mean, like I said, I've used it periodically throughout the time, but yeah, I actually have one of the Braun work lights, and right after I got it, it had got some oil on it, and not thinking, I sprayed some brake parts cleaner on a rag and started wiping it down, and it actually turned the lens from clear to white. So, yeah, the lenses on them are not chemical resistant. So,
I had a light, had a magnet on it. It was a round light, LEDs all up in there, and it took 1 or 2 double A's, and it was a good light, man. Cause my shop wasn't well lit.
Yeah.
But it was good for looking at numbers on engines and stuff. Getting close in.
Right.
And I had it on the bench, and I sprayed some carburetor cleaner, and I wasn't paying attention, and I shouldn't have had that light right there, and that overspray got on that light lens, and it dulled the heck out of it. I mean, it frosted that light over like nobody's business. If I wanted to frost that lens like that, I couldn't have did a better job if I wanted to do it.
Exactly. That's the same way with this light. But after that, I bought some of the hexagonal lights that have the little magnet on it. There's little round ones from Harbor Freight.
That's what
Yeah.
mine was, but it come from AutoZone, O'Reilly.
You know, they had these on sale for $20 a piece if you're a card member. So I bought 2 for my house, and then I bought 2 for work. And the only thing is I can tell you, don't have it on the brightest setting and lay it face down with it on.
Hot.
Yeah, it'll melt the lens. One of mine has a little bump in the middle of it, and that's the only thing that I can figure happened is it got laid down with the light on. So now I make sure I don't. I actually stick them to something. So, hey, Mr. Briggs, what's happening?
Just driving down the highway.
Is that
See
Brick?
that? See that?
Happy Easter.
So you back up north there, Briggs, or you still back down in Florida?
No, I'm up in New York, heading down to Virginia.
Okay. All right. So yeah, and the 2 I bought at home for home, I bought a bright green one and a bright red one. I have not been able to find the red one for about a month. I've looked and looked and looked. I found it today, or yesterday. I found it yesterday. I was sitting there staring at the seat and stuff, and that I'm building for monkey business, and kind of looking around, and looked up, and yeah, it stuck to my one tripod deal that I use for. It's actually a IV stand, and I have an LED plug-in LED light that I clamp on it. Yeah, that other light's stuck to the side of it. So, but I looked all over the workbench and tractors and everything else, and I'm like, man, it'll come around soon enough. And like I said, I was just sitting there, kind of kicked back, relaxing, because it was a really nice day and a little nice breeze coming in the shop because I had the garage door open, and I kind of like looked over at that stand, and I'm like, hey, there's that light. So, yeah, Merry Christmas, Scott, from Thomas Andrew. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Thomas. He's a little off on his holidays, but you know, and I don't know about where you guys live at. Talking about holidays and stuff, eggs have gone down. At one point in time, for 18 eggs, the large ones, it was almost $8. Well, I paid like 4 something today, 5 something today for 18 of them. Hello, Lisa Ann. How you doing, dear?
Because it's Easter. Hey,
I think-
Lisa.
Yeah.
I bought a dozen yesterday. Johnny brought me to the store and went shopping. There was $4 for a dozen, a large, extra large.
Yeah.
And because Missy didn't want to use that was to make potato salad and devil eggs. Missy didn't want to use our country eggs
Right.
because we get country eggs from her sister at $3 a dozen. And so instead of using those, we just used the regular eggs for that. And I found that's been floating $3.75, $4 for a while. A dozen never got over that.
Right.
But Johnny told me at Walmart the box of eggs, the 60 eggs, 5 dozen, was $30. Yeah. And it was 24 at Super One. So that was $6 cheaper than Walmart.
Yeah. Well, I figured it up today. I bought enough groceries to make 5 individual meals for, like multiple people, not just me. I bought, everything I bought today would probably equal up to about 5 meals. And I paid $67. Well,
Wow.
a few weeks back, somebody, I was scrolling through Facebook and somebody had posted that, you know, the grocery prices are getting ridiculous, and they had a picture of 2 5-pound packages of hamburger, 2 18 things of eggs, a gallon of milk, and I forget a couple other things in there. And they said that was $97. And I'm
$100. Yeah.
and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, you need to learn how to shop, because if that's, if you're spending $97 on that, you know, because I hardly, for myself, for a week, you know, and I do my cooking videos plus, all kinds of other stuff. I don't spend more than $60, $70, so better now than you are this morning.
I did notice the 18 eggs yesterday. They were $6.98.
I hope you do feel better, Lisa. I hope they get your blood pressure
Oh.
under control.
Wow.
It was $4.99 or 18 or $8.99. Yeah, it was. I don't know if they had them on sale because of Easter or what for the 18 eggs, but yeah, I mean, if you can't buy enough groceries for a week, and I'm assuming it was 2 people because I kind of looked at the profile. If you can't buy enough groceries for under $100 for 2 people for a week, you need to change your eating habits, or you're buying,
That 10 pounds of ground meat that person bought on Facebook, that they probably could have bought ribeyes and made their own ground meat, because that's
Yeah.
the major cost in that menu or list that they had.
He's
Yeah.
been
We bought
free.
$2.85, I think it was, or $1.85. This is 8-9 years ago. Paul's had a special on shoulder roast, beef shoulder roast, boneless. I think it was $1.85, and I bought $150 worth. And I made ground meat. A buddy of mine has a meat grinder, and we made ground meat and I gave him 10 pounds, and that was for actually cleaning the grinder, not
Yeah.
the use of it. And we put up meat and steaks and roasts, we cut all that up, and man, we had beef for a while.
Well,
That
my,
chicken buying bulk.
yeah, well, my nephew just had one of his cows butchered, and he gave my brother a bunch of hamburger, and in turn, my brother gave me a bunch of hamburger, probably like 21-pound packs, something like that. And I used some the other day, and he warned me I'm going to have to put some grease in there. Yeah, there is no grease in it. I ended up having to grab some bacon out of the freezer and throw some bacon in there just to get enough grease to fry the hamburger so it didn't burn.
Yeah, that shoulder roast was a little lean. It was like probably 95.5. Johnny had some ground meat he brought over here to make sloppy joes last week, a few days ago, and it was chunky. It was like, I said, man, this is the best sloppy joe Missy made in a long, long, long time. And I was like, what kind of meat is that, Johnny? Where'd you get it? Said, that's 97.3 ground meat. I'm like, oh.
That's probably what this stuff is, because I made Econo nachos, which is just basically taco meat and some Doritos. And like I said, it ended up having to put like 3 or 4 strips of bacon in it to get enough grease. Because when I first started out, I put it in there because it's frozen. Put it in there on like a low heat to get it to thaw out and kind of break up in that. And I went back, a couple minutes later, and it's already browned and it's not even thawing, and there ain't no liquid, no nothing in the bottom of the pan. So I hurried up, like I said, and grabbed a little bit of bacon out of the freezer and chopped it up and threw it in the bottom of the pan and got enough grease to fry the hamburger up. So those are some of the best Econo nachos I had made in a long time. So, but yeah, I mean, if you're spending $100 on just a handful of groceries, you need to learn how to use coupons or change your buying habits, because I bought enough personally that I know I could feed a family of 4 all week on for $67. And a lot of the stuff was canned stuff that's going to be in the cupboard for 2, 3, 4 weeks. So I ended up buying some sausage links, hot Italian and cheddar, a couple packs of each, or a pack of each of one of those. What else did I buy? Oh, a couple 1 pound packs of bulk sausage. Hot dogs, hot dog buns, some tater tots, and a bunch of other stuff. And like I said, I figured it up on my way home, thinking through my head how many different meals I could get out of all that.
Yep, Tar Heel.
Hi, Tar Heel. Briggs, you okay? I seen his phone flash around there, and
Yeah, he was moving it, or was he moving it?
hopefully it just fell off his dash,
Yeah.
because it's just black right now.
He could have did a jump scare right there and scared the hell out of everybody.
Yeah. So, like I said, hopefully it just fell off his dash and nothing happened, because he was driving. So,
Yeah.
oh, there he is.
You got it.
Welcome back, Briggs. Maybe you just got in a bad area.
No, some guy wanted to race.
Oh, okay. I just
Oh, camera fell off.
Yeah, it fell off the thing. He wanted to race.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I seen the camera just kind of bounce around and then go dark, and I'm like, okay, hopefully everything's okay. So.
Oh yeah, just a guy who wanted to race.
All right. I mean, it would get good views, but I don't want it happening on my channel.
No, I ain't doing that.
So, but and thank you to everybody that voted on the community tab of what recipe we're doing this week. So, I ended up making the chili cheese dog casserole. So, watch for that video Wednesday, and then I'll make the spinach and mushroom sausage quiche probably next weekend. So, and I forgot about Easter, and I went to buy pie crust today, pre-made frozen pie crust, and the whole section was empty besides like three packages of crusts, and I had to pick through them to find one that wasn't all busted up. So hopefully they're fine. I didn't look at them after I got them home, but yeah, we'll make it work. So I'm hungry for some quiche. So like I said, I was hungry for the hot dog chili cheese dog casserole too. So I used a different recipe this time that I've never tried before, and it turned out pretty good. So hope y'all like it. But yeah, like I said, I'm getting excited about pulling this year again. Usually midwinter, I'm kind of, do I really want to do this again this year? But you know, like I said, basically as soon as the sun starts warming up, I start getting the itch again. So uh, we're gonna do it for another season. Hopefully, if everything holds together. Um,
You were talking about the voting on the food, that cabbage and kielbasa
uh-huh.
dish you made. That was going on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I love cabbage, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
And we smother it down here. We just don't, like a 20-minute boil or whatever. Man,
Right.
that's 3 hours to cook cabbage down, with some pork meat in it, some
Oh,
tasso
yeah.
or whatever. We buy pork chops at $1.25 a pound. That not last week they had assorted pork chops, $1.25. We bought a couple of packs, the limit
Yeah.
and the super packs, a lot. And Missy will throw, take that, freeze it, and we'll label that like a bean meat or something, or so we'll throw that in cabbage too. And we hadn't had cabbage in a while, so it's time.
Yeah, I like to take like a head of cabbage and cut it up into chunks and throw it in the crock pot with some ham or whatever, and cook it all day like that. But that recipe I did there, I used that coleslaw mix, just basically for it to cook down quicker. And
Mhm.
I've used it before in the past on other stuff, and it really turned out great. It hit all the flavors of the stuff that
Yeah,
the flavors of stuff I was craving.
and carrots
So
add flavor.
right, and with the kielbasa and the cabbage and the ginger and all that kind of stuff in it, that all those flavors come together and actually satisfied the cravings I was having. So and it
Oh, I love ginger.
yeah
I buy it in the store when I need some. I break off a little piece, or they might have a piece
yeah
already broke off on the rack. And what? 45 cents. You
yeah
get you a big old deal of it. And
right
I wish I could. They say you can freeze it,
yeah
but I never did. I just use what I got, and I try to use it all up, within 3 weeks to a month,
well see
and
that's and that
keep it in the crisper for that long. Then I chunk it. If there's anything left, I'll chunk it. I mean, you're not wasting a lot. 30 cents,
right
I
and
just
that's
take wasting. Period.
oh me too, and that's another reason I've kind of went to the dried ground ginger. um it doesn't take as much as the fresh ginger because it's dried and concentrated, but it's always there in the cupboard waiting for me if I need it, you know so because I have done some other recipes where it took fresh ginger and uh, ended up not making anything else, and like you said, kind of waste a little piece of it, but it is cheap enough that
Yeah, it doesn't
so
hurt the pocketbook.
right. But yeah, I really, like I said, that that combination is basically, I mean, I know it's a weird combination of stuff, but it was all the flavors that I was wanting, and it come together and was really good. So, and it didn't usually when I do my recipes that I make for my videos, they'll last that night that I eat it, and then like 3 or 4 days uh, for uh, for like my lunches. Yeah, that lasted 3 days total. So I had a big thing of it for supper that night, and then 3 lunches after that. So, uh, you know, but Yeah, I've made like I said I made chili cheese hot dog casserole this week, and I've done it before, just a different recipe. I couldn't find the recipe that I used before, so I looked it up again, and I took two different recipes and put them together, and it turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. So hopefully you guys will be happy with it whenever it comes out Wednesday. So, and yeah, Lisa, I don't know why it doesn't put the like my community posts. It doesn't put them out like the videos and stuff like that. Maybe I should start doing shorts, short videos, and that way it'll get put out to everybody instead of just making a community post. Because I've had other people tell me that they've never seen the community post. They never got notified that I made one. So, like I said, maybe I'll just start instead of doing the community post things, I'll just do a short video and let everybody vote down in the comments. That way, everybody gets notified of it. And while I'm on that subject too, I don't watch my analytics very close. I just I'll watch to see how many views I get on a video, but I don't go in depth on like a lot of people do. But the other day I did click on my analytics. There's more than over half of the views that I get are people that aren't subscribed. If everybody that watched the videos would actually hit the subscribe button, we'd be over 10,000 subscribers. I don't know why people don't hit the subscribe button. It's free. You don't have to get notifications. You just, you can get some, all of them, none of them. But if I could just get everybody to hit the, hey, Jim Bob.
Oh, that explains why my community coffee stock went up. Cajun put the big coffee maker up and went up 10 points.
Yep. Got the big one
Well,
in the
keep
back.
drinking the bigger pot.
Been up for a week.
I'd be at a smart aleck.
Or over a week.
Yeah. Oh, Jim Bob was armadillo shopping. Hopefully found the armadillo he was looking for.
What's up, Jim Bob? Happy Easter.
Let's see. Willie says he checks the suggestions to see what theme catches people's attention. Yeah.
God, people, when you ride my butt so close I can read your license plate, you too close.
I would agree with that. That's right, because y'all got 2 license plates in certain states.
AXL 1978.
Down here, we only got 1 on the back. That's it. Texas
Well,
got front and back.
Just a couple years ago, Ohio went to just the rear plate.
Hmm.
The cost didn't go down, but they just went to the,
Yeah, they're going to keep the money and less product, just like anything.
Yeah, dancing. Like I said, I'll check to see how a video is doing, to see if it's getting views or if it's just sitting idle or whatever. But I don't usually deep dive into the analytics like some people do, and all that kind of stuff. But I just make the videos and put them out there, and if people want to watch them, they'll watch them. If they don't, they don't. I'm going to keep putting them out. You got a turkey today.
Yeah, you went turkey hunting? Said the dogs mess it up bad.
Oh.
It's turkey season down here.
I don't know if it's turkey season around here or not. So, but so
We have 2 turkey seasons now. They used
Yeah.
to only have 1. They used to have none. They were outlawed. You know, I mean, you
Yeah.
like
protected.
protected, not endangered, but protected. And then the population grew,
Yep.
and they opened a season, and then they that was 35 years ago they had opened it up, and then now they got 2 seasons. So
Yeah, I think around here they got a spring turkey season and a fall.
right.
My brother used to be a big turkey hunter. I think he still does some in the fall, but I don't think he does in the spring anymore.
I got a buddy of mine, man. He loved to turkey hunt, but he didn't have the patience. He would move too much.
Yeah.
You move, you blink your eyes, and that turkey is looking at you. You can see it.
Right. And my ex-boss, before he retired, he was a pheasant turkey hunter religiously. He had tons and tons of tail mounts and stuff like that in his office, and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of checked in and talked with my brother about what it takes to turkey hunt. And yeah, I ain't got it in me. I can't sit there and be deadly still and not move and barely breathe and wait for a turkey to come up and try to
That's too
yeah,
fun right there.
yeah, renegade. That does kind of does surprise everybody, So all right, y'all. On that note, we've been in here an hour. We're gonna drop it off, and I appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. I hope you all had a great Easter. Don't eat too much of your candy. I did buy some Easter candy, but I am eating it in moderation. So we will catch you guys all next week. So have a good one.
Happy Easter, everybody. Catch y'all next week.